Welcome back, my Earth Force friends. I'm your host, CF, and you're watching CF Tactics. In this episode, we're going to be focusing on Power Cores Part 2, Base Cores, or as they're called in game, Building Cores. Power Cores are split into two separate categories: Bot Power Cores, which we covered in Part 1, and Base or Building Power Cores. Easy to distinguish from their bot counterparts, base cores are rectangular in shape as compared to the bot cores that are round. Base cores, like bot cores, are organized into several categories, and prime cores and universal classifications are the only categories they both have in common. Here, the classification similarities end, and base cores are classified by building type. Autocannon, mortar, headquarters, shock towers, build bots, universal, laser turret, missile launcher, beam laser, and stasis mine. Note that there are no power cores for harvesters, labs, or building prime cores. At the time of this recording, there are only 9 prime cores available in game. Those are the Quintus Prime, Vector Prime, Micronus, Megatronus, Amalgamus, Liege Maximo, Alchemist Prime, Solus Prime, and Prima. Like their bot core counterparts, building cores come in 3 rarities: silver, gold, and G-metal. Autocannons. Just like their bot counterparts, most buildings only have 2 cores. In this case, the autocannon has the high velocity shells, which deals high damage of the original building damage spec through all targets in a straight line. Think of like Warpath or Skull Smasher, except for an autocannon. It can do high damage, but only in a straight line. Then we have the explosive shell. This too deals a part of the original building's damage, and it deals it to all targets within a small area. Mortar power cores. Mortars are limited to 2 power cores as well. However, the first one is the Incendiary. Incendiary fires explosions and deals damage over time. It also increases the default damage rate of the building by a percentage. Target protocol prioritizes gunners and medics. Great for those people that love to bring those gunners and medics into your base. The attack range is increased by a percentage. However, there is a damage reduction in the damage done with the mortars. Headquarters cores. Headquarters are one of the very few buildings that have more than 2 cores. Currently, they have a total of 4. Headquarters cores also can only be applied at HQ 16 or greater. The newest core introduced for headquarters is the EMP Defense Bolt. This deals electrical damage to a single target. It also disables that target for a short duration. It cannot hit targets at close range. It's best to use these to target gunners, possibly medics, even some warriors. Adaptive shielding. This is becoming more of a popular core in higher leagues, as it offers a percentage of normal damage reduction against the headquarters and another percentage reduction against special abilities and combiners. It's a definite must-have if you're doing some hardcore wars. The Omni Flamer. This core absorbs 6% of fire damage caused from the opposition and torches all nearby enemies when attacked. This core deals variable damage upon its enemies, but you can ensure that your enemies will end up toasted. The Point Defense Beam. This thing deals variable damage to a single target. It can target both ground and airborne assailants coming at your HQ. It will prioritize air class, so air superiority might just fall short. Shock towers. Love them and hate them, they can do some major damage, especially when they have power cores attached. This building, like most others, has 2 cores. Thunderstorm. This core increases the radius and range of the shock tower. but it comes with a price in terms of the power reduction. The EMP shot. This core stops enemies in their tracks, but that too comes with a price in the form of a power reduction. The duration varies on core level and rarity. Build bots. Build bots are the only other building aside from the headquarters that have more than 2 cores. They have 5. The high frequency suppressor. This is essentially an anti-hack core. Lightning rod. This protects nearby buildings from EMP damage and blocks electrical damage. The build bot itself is also immune from EMP damage. Zone heal. Restores a percentage of health to a nearby buildings over a slow duration of time. The force field disruptor. Disables nearby enemy shields and dissipates cloaks on enemy bots. This will not affect other power core protection. Ray blockers. Reduced enemy healing by a percentage. Doesn't affect power core self-regeneration effects. Universal power cores. Like their name suggests, they are merely universal. They cannot be applied to the headquarters or build bots, however. They can be applied to missile launchers, mortars, autocannons, or beam lasers, however. Armor. Increases building health by a percentage. Attack. Increases attack damage by a percentage. Death pulse. On 0 health or the destruction of the building, causes an EMP explosion stunning targets in a large area for a short duration. Self-repair. Restores a percentage of the building's health per second. Laser turrets. The turrets have 2 power cores available. Anti-air laser. Increases the attack range of the turret by a percentage and offers an increase in damage as well. It can only attack airborne targets. So applying this core to your turrets can leave your base susceptible to ground attacks, as ground troops like warriors, gunners, medics, and specials will be left alone. Take that into consideration when applying this core. Laser ricochet. Increased damage by a percentage. The laser bounces off a second target, dealing a percentage of the first laser hit. Applying this core will not affect airborne targets, so using air class bots around this can give you a slight advantage, but make sure there aren't any anti-air lasers around. Missile launchers. Sadly, the missile launchers only have 1 power core available to them, and that is the guided missiles. This makes the missile launcher target a single target by laser and deals a percentage of the original launcher's damage. That's correct. It does not give you the entire damage value of the building. It also only locks on to 1 target. This can be helpful in some situations. Beam lasers. The beam lasers have 2 power cores available. Cybertronian charge. For those of you who do raids, you'll be somewhat familiar with this. The core increases the range of the beam laser by a percentage. The longer the beam stays on the target, the more damage it inflicts up to a percentage, if uninterrupted. The slowdown photon. This power core slows down opponents' walking and attack speeds by a percentage. The attack range is also increased by a percentage. Stasis mines. Those pesky little buildings that almost everyone forgets to upgrade. The stasis mines have 3 power cores available to them, but what they won't tell you is applying any of these cores to the stasis mines will cancel out the stunning effects of the mine. So take that into consideration as you ponder applying any of the following power cores. Motion sensing mine. Explodes when an enemy is nearby and prevents them from using their special ability. It also adds an extra percentage effect duration. Only affects a single target. It also offers a percentage range increase. Glass gas mine. Explodes when enemies are nearby and applies a glass gas effect for a duration to all enemies on the ground. Affected targets receive a percentage more damage and doubles the trigger range. Flare mine. Makes a single enemy the focus of nearby defenses. It can detect bots in stealth mode, dealing a percentage of their max health per second, as well as makes them visible to defenses for a brief duration. There you have it, my friends. Understanding Power Chords Part 2, Bass Chords. I hope you found this and my other videos informative and helpful. I've been your host, CF, and this was another video on CF Tactics.